Group Racing. Show us your tips. Daggy and Beaver with you to look towards two big cards, headlined by the Lightning Stakes at Flemington. How's life treating you, Beaver?
Life is treating me okay, mate. No complaints here. Doing what you do and keep fighting and punching.
Two big cards to get stuck into. They look exciting betting meetings.
Yeah, very exciting betting meetings. Plenty of value to be found in the markets there. Lots of races where sort of favourites $5 plus, and a couple of good horses floating around as well in some races. So good card. See if we can find some winners.
Beautiful. Before we start, I just want to send our condolences to the family and friends of Dean Lester. Superb tipster. For all reports, a better person. There's less than a handful of tipsters I guess I used to listen to every weekend, and he was certainly one of them, and then also learn from. So, yeah, very sad news this morning. So, pay tribute there to him.
Yeah, good call out, mate. Yeah, good racing identity. That's added a lot of value.
Absolutely. Let's try and find a winner or two at Flemington as he would have wanted. So let's kick off at Flemington, where the rail is in the true. Been from more reports, a hot day there today, cooling down tomorrow. So they're going to put a bit of water in it tonight. Hopefully it should mean all's well tomorrow for a good track. But yeah, generally never any surprises at Flemington. We kick off over the mile, benchmark 84. And the story of the day are fields like this. How are you going to start the day with this deep field here?
Yeah, very deep field here. I think you can almost find a reason to back any of these. Open race. Look, I've settled on River Plate. I didn't mind its last start run. I think if it can get the lead, I'll be a bit nervous if it doesn't get to the lead. Wasn't able to lead last start and got the sitting behind them, and they just quickened and was too good for it. But gets some weight relief here. Goes back to the 56 kilos, probably slightly up in class there. But that was a good race. And I think if he can get control, Ollie might be able to sneak away with this. But as I said, there's plenty of chances here down in the weights. Bel Toro's going great guns. I think it's a chance. And I think a horse like Lyrical Lad, if it found its best, could really feature here. And now it's third up. Can run well as well, but plenty of chances in these.
It's funny, I gravitated to River Plate as well. I actually don't know if the fence was the best spot that day, Eva, and it wasn't too far off. It's only about a length off them in the finish. And I agree with everything you've said. So you've covered that well for Ollie. Hopefully he can get across from gate 8 and take up a nice enough spot there. I'm a Shelby's flying. Craig Williams just starting to find a bit of spring form, which we've been waiting for. So another chance there around the double figure mark. But it doesn't end there. Carlisle returned well and is an underrated horse. Next best for me, but you can go up and down this. As you said, you can make a case for just about all of them. So you want a bit of value, and I'm going to play 2, maybe 3 around that double figure mark to start the day. The second is the Vanity, the 3-year-old fillies, a Group 3. And, same again here. And, look, am I a bit mad here in thinking Zenzel is the best horse in this race?
Well, I was just thinking the same thing. It's certainly, look, it's got to be up there. Is this a little bit short for it over the 1400 against these speedy horses? It's probably going to get back in the field, and might be just short of its best, and therefore looking at the odds, just may not be ready yet.
Yeah, I at those odds, I'm going to have something small to find out, because I do think it's heading to better stuff than this, and at the 30s, hopefully gives us a bit of a sight from Queen Air. Similar thoughts, and did resume well. Obviously it was just a weak maiden, but got that out of the way, no problem at all, and did some good stuff last prep. Both of those interest me, as does Proscenium Arch, who was saved from Wednesday to come here, and again was about 20s when I did the form. Can see a little bit of money overnight. I think that rolls forward, but exciting race again, because I'm keen to a little bit of rocks and diamonds in the first couple, but I think all of those are live chances at a big price. What's caught your eye?
Same thing. It is rocks or diamonds, and there's lots of chances. I'm sticking with Nunthorpe. I just impressed by its first 2 wins. I think it's found the line well, and I think it's probably going to sit against gate 7, sit up near the lead here. Hopefully 1 out, 1 back, and hit the lead in the straight and be hard to hold off. I thought it could run really well, but as you said, you can make a case for all of these. But I went Fruit on top.
It's about the only pace in the race, probably in its advantage to it, and Papillion Club I had rolling forward, not a great deal else. So, very interesting couple of races to start the day. The Talindert is up next, 1,100 metres for the 2-year-olds up the straight. This is a cracker as well, Beaver. Who do you like?
Yeah, another cracker with not a lot of form to assess on. I've settled on Maraba from the Beg stable. So there's been a little bit of money this morning for it. It's seen it come in, still around the 420, 440 mark. I thought the trials were nice enough. Comes from Sydney down to Melbourne, which is always a good pointer for me, and did only finish a length behind Barbara in its only start before it was put back out. I expect that there's some improvement there, and I expect it to come around well.
I agree. I had that as one of the key chances, changed over to the Beg stable from the David Payne yard. The trial's fantastic, the latest one, and just was a bit lost in that on debut, and probably could have finished closer to Barber in that first up on its race debut. First up, Graham Beck up the straight, could be ready to go from Amur, who's unbeaten, and both wins have been nice. I believe it's going into the Blue Diamond, so they've got an opinion of it, and J-Mac goes on. Markets in that order, but I think they're the two main ones. Other bits and pieces here, I think Snippy Legend and a horse like Rhodesian Red can both run into the exotics to give you a play that way, but very interested to see what what Mahaba does fresh for the new stable. The fourth is a 2,000 metre benchmark 84. What have we got here? I've ended up... Look, I'm hoping for a bit of luck because it's usually either all or nothing with in terms of luck for this horse. But I've got Aaron Bay on top. I think it rolls across, can find a nice spot if they're proactive from the gate. And looks, it's honest and going to give you a sight over the 2,000 here. Each way play for me from Fighting Arrow, who is going really well, broke through last time. And the format of that race has not been too bad under Blake Shin. How are you looking at this?
Yeah, again, another deep race. I've gone for Hasseltoff. Ultra consistent of late. Last start, got back in the field and finished off quite nicely at Sandown, only 3 lengths off them, carrying the 59.5. So get some weight relief here, 56. I think the 2,000 can suit. I think it can get a cosy run here, and I think it can run a really nice race.
Yeah, it loves the track as well, Hasseltoff. The fifth is the girls over the 1,400 metres, a Group 3. And are you just diving straight into Annavisto here?
I'm going to dive into Annavisto here. Only had the one start last prep and in the Group 1 and complete fail. They put it straight back out. So obvious some issues there. Trialled well at Cranbourne, came back really nice. That was a good trial. We know it's packed with plenty of potential, and I think it might be just a bit classier than these. So I've got it on top. Big watch on the resuming Boogie Dancer.
Yep. It did. Yeah, Annavisto did bolt in first up last time over the track and distance, and last trial is fantastic. We'll be ready to go here. I'm giving Excelita one more chance. It took forever to get warmed up first up at the 1,300 metres, but hit the line quite well. And I think just second up Flemington, pretty much its going life. It did win the Group 2 here. Second up last prep, beat Argentia in a reasonable field. So one more chance here around the $8.50 mark, and scared as well of Rodak Ataki, who at least is flying. But Annavisto may well bounce to the front and run away with this if there's not a heap of pressure. The boys come up next in the CSA Stakes, 1,400 metres for the Colts, as suggested by the fact they're boys. Look, I'm terrified of the favourite here in attrition, but I'm going around it a little bit. I'm going to, again, I might have something with these colours, but I'm going to have a tiny spec on Miramasa, whose trials have been really good, comes in here. And last time, again, over further, but spent some time around some good horses and made them work there. And I'm going to have to say that Cadetship stacks up here as well if it's coming down. We've seen already that the midweek Sydney form fits well into these Group Melbourne races. J. Mac Waller on a lightly raced gelding here at around $16. I'm going to have something on. They're the two main plays for me. And obviously scared of the favourite and scared of Bankmore, who did cross the line with Jacquinot last start. But Couple of each big each-way plays there. What about yourself, Beaver?
Yeah, I narrowed it down to two. I did have attrition on top. First up wins have been outstanding, albeit in weaker graded class than this, but put them away quite comfortably and hasn't even been extended yet. So that's a good pointer for me. The gate looks an ideal draw here. So if it's got the ability it looks to have, it's going to play a major part in this. My other saver is Elliptical resuming here. I think this is a good horse. It's drawn a little bit off the track, but it will go back. And you were talking before about horses with good form around other good horses. Go back to last preparation. 3 lengths behind Zaki, just beaten by Sharp and Smart in a Group 1, and just beaten by Golden Mile in a Group 1 as well. So
Reads all right, doesn't it?
It reads very well, like looking at this field. So if it's tuned up and ready to go, super keen that it can run well as well. They're the two that I've got.
Beautiful. The feature is the 1,000-metre Group 1 Black Caviar Lightning Stakes. Nature strips drawn the inside fence up the straight. It's even money. Do you want to touch it?
Well, it's clearly the on-top pick here, right? So, yeah, $2.10. I'm happy to play. I think it's clearly the best sprinter in the race, and we know it goes good up the Flemington straight. First up has a good record and trolled pretty good at Warwick Farms. So no reason that you can't back it at $2.10. I think that's a pretty reasonable price at the moment. Might get better, but it's hard just to find what, when you sort of start to look through these horses, they're all good horses. Which one's going to beat it? There's probably a fair few in it. There's probably a few you can put a line through. Bella Nipotina was flying early last start. I Wish I'd Win is a good horse, but is this 1,000 metres up the straight? Is this going to be a little bit too quick for it? Most likely. And Maraba's got to step up against this type of company.
Yeah, I set out to get this beat, and just as much a gut feel as anything, but inside, we've seen it vulnerable first up at 1,000. I'm going to take it on. I'm going to go put Bella Nipotina on top. As you said, fresh last prep was outstanding. Then probably should have won the Moya and then won the Manicato well. Trials are fantastic here. We see it tried against a horse who we're going to see in Sydney actually later on, and I've just forgotten his name. But it was lovely. And in that jump out the straight Nature Strip had, I thought Rockin' Horse was travelling just as well as it on the just off its hindquarters there. So I'm going to give it a chance as well around the $12 mark. We've seen it claim its scalp up the straight before. Good race, excited to see, because every time Nature Strip steps out, it is an event. But excited, and as you said, excited to see what I Wish I Win does. Fresh, straight into 1,000 metres. I suggest probably second up will be the play here, but we'll watch it hit the line well here first.
Hypothetical is the horse you're thinking about?
Yeah. Spoilers, I'd probably give it a chance down at up at Randwick later on.
Me too.
Rosehill. Beautiful, great minds, as they say. The next is the 1,400 metre listed race, the Elms Handicap. Again, looking for some value here away from the favourite, who I've been saying that around the $4 it is now. I will be backing Daytona Bay. Should have won first up. Just a horror watch there. Hopefully Clear Air should run into this well enough. Jamie Carr's hit her straps the last 2 weeks, so hopefully she can do the same here and get this horse up and going. But the two away from it, Uncle Bryn, good horse, has trialled up well for this. Mark Zara's on from a inside gate. I think it's going to run a great race here. And Banker's Choice is probably the best horse. Might want further. But again, $16, I'm happy to back it for a place, and hopefully can run on off the soft draw there, and be one for your exotics. But again, looking for value, Beaver.
Yeah, I think you're right. Daytona Bay certainly does look super hard to beat. It was a bit of an unfortunate run last time, and then prior to that had some really good form. So you got to have that in there. I kind of wanted to go looking for Scalapini, but I was really disappointed with the first up run in a pretty average field.
Why was it so far back? When I watched the replay again last night, what was going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. And so that had me concerned, and
Yeah.
it has won before at Flemington. So I was a little bit nervous. I'll be seeing if there is any money for it. And the other horse I thought it could run really well down in the weights and up in the market is Ungawa. It only finished 2 lengths behind Gentleman Roy last start, and I thought that was a pretty good run. Sits on just off the pace here, and if it can get in gate 14, might run okay. But yeah, look, I had Daytona on Bay on top, but scared of Scalapini.
Cool. Yeah, when I started, I did think I was going to set out to find Scolopini, but I agree with you. I was just slightly disappointed by the last start there. We finished the day, 1,200 metres, benchmark 84 up the straight again, and I'm putting a favourite on top in Jungle Gym. I think the penny's dropped now. Some nice runs this time in, including claiming the in soft fashion the race at Sale there. Comes here and gets a nice setup again from the middle gate to jump back beat at home, so I have to respect that. And I've just noticed there's been money for it since I've done the form. And next best, El Rocko might be the best horse in the race. Last time, fresh, was very, very impressive. So there'll be the main three I'll play in the quaddy to end the day. But favourite on top, Beaver. How are you finishing off?
Yeah, look, pretty good summation there. I just went for a bit of value in El Rocko. Thought resuming here. Hopefully there's some speed on and it can handle the straight. And it's probably got one of the most powerful finishes out of this field. So I thought it could run really, really well. So had it, thought some, as you said, Jungle Gym and Djumbuck are obvious chances. And if you're looking something for even a bit more value, Chartres, I think it can run well first up down the outside. It has a little bit of ability and might figure in the finish.
Beauty. Now, you've got the honour of the quaddy at Flemington for Black Caviar Lightning Stakes Day, Beaver. Lay it on us.
Lay it on ya, hey? My race 6, in no particular order. Number 14, Attrition. Number 4, Bank Moor. Number 5, Elliptical. Number 7, Bel Air. And number 11, Cadetship. In the first leg. In the second leg, I've gone number 1, Nature Strip, number 5, Bella Nipotina, number 6, Rockin' Horse. In the third leg, race 8, I've gone 14, Daytona Bay, number 3, Scalapini, number 7, Looks Like Elvis, number 12, Umgawa. And to finish, number 3, Jungle Gym, number 10, Djumbuck, number 6, El Rocko, and number 12, Chartres.
Beauty. For progretracing.com.au, of course, check them out for everything going on there over the Autumn Carnival. Your best in value.
My best is race 5, number 4, Annavisto. I think it can resume and win. And my value comes up in the last, race 9, number 6, El Rocko.
I struggled to find a best. I'm going to make it... I'll make it the blue colours in your 2-year-old. Race 3, number 2, Amur. And value race 6, number 11, Cadetship for Team Waller there. We head to Rosehill, where it's going to be hot. The rail moves to the true. And I haven't seen any news on changes of tracks or anything like that, or times just yet. But good track. We'll see how much or how dry it does get, whether the inside becomes a place to be. But another good card. Kicks off with a highway over the 1,400 metres where Super Extreme gets away from Randwick. Have you got anything you like in here?
In the highway? No, thank you, mate. So this was just too hard for me. I've given up on these races.
Yeah. I did a long time ago. The Midway's up next now, 1,500 metres of benchmark 72. At least they've been good enough to put the Midway and the highway out of the quaddy legs. But... yeah, who do you like?
And up first, so you can just chime in about 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Don't need to get out of bed too early on a weekend. Yeah, have you got any here?
Nothing here for me either, mate. Go for your life punters if you want to bet in this stuff.
I've gone in market order here. I think True Crime probably finds a lead and is going well enough, and there's not a heap of pace underneath it from Cheerful Legend, who hit the line alongside Starbred last time out, and hopefully gives us a bit of an idea whether we can make ground on the day. they're the main two, but a race like this, you probably want a bit more value than that. But for the sake of a tip, that's who I've got on top there. The third is an 1100 metre benchmark 78, which is another ripper. We both mentioned Hypothetical, Beaver. Do you want to talk about this one first?
Yeah, look, I'll go first here. Look, I think Hypothetical's a really good chance at $15. It's not my on-top pick. This is, again, a deep race, like some of the ones we'd seen in Melbourne. You know, you've even got horses that are flying at the moment. Diamond Dealer at $35.
Yep.
But some really good horses on the way up here. I stuck with the favourite Economics, and the reason being is I just think its form was a little bit better than the other horses that are sort of coming through some weaker grade races. This won a listed race and won by a couple of lengths, beating Opal Ridge, which Opal Ridge has got some ability and is a pretty good horse. And then ran a really nice race in the Group 1 down at Flemington behind In Secret, only 3 lengths off them. So I think this horse is packed with ability, fresh year. I think it can run really well, but again, horses like Insurrection, Parasail, Hypothetical, they're all on the way up. And Renosu, won on Cup Day, which was one of yours, Daggy. So absolute chances galore here.
Yeah, absolutely. I've for the sake of it, I do have Insurrection on top. I heavily backed and just bolted in last time at Kenzo. I thought that was very impressive. First time gelded. Hopefully take some improvement from that. Scared of Economics, but the 3 outside the market that I'll throw into an early quaddie. Hypothetical we've covered off. Trialled almost as good as Bella Nipotina there. I thought at $16 gives you a great sight. Brutinel's completely left field, but I've had an opinion of it all the way through its career, and we'll get to see what it's got tomorrow. And as you said, even Renoso's outside the market and goes in there. Cracking race for the sprinters. The fourth is the Silver Slipper. Group 2 on the way to the Golden Slipper, where I am going to go away from the favourite here. I've got Mumbai Muse on top. I really liked its debut, and I think out to 1200 suits. I think a soft draw suits, and I've just got a feeling that something's up with the faves. So on top for me, from Cylinder, whose trials are great, and did some good stuff very early on. Looks to have come back in great order, gets control of this race. So playing around the fave with those two, Beaver, yourself?
I did something similar. I thought Mumbai Muse's first up run was very good against a horse. That was an outstanding win. That was unbelievable when it was 3 wide and back in the field and somehow still won. So it's a very good horse learning to fly.
And we've seen that form come out and be franked as well.
Yeah, King's Gambit, geez, it was disappointing last start. There was no reason, 5-horse field, had the good run, and it just didn't let down at all. Maybe that was a forgive run, but at this point in time, I just need to see it do something before I'm going to be caught backing those 2-year-olds.
Cool. We're in agreement there. The fifth is a 1400 metre benchmark 78. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, look, again, a deep race here. I settled on 2 at a similar price in the market that I couldn't split, but I slightly went for Willinga Rufio, resuming here. Thought it could run really well. Really liked its win before beating Kokoro pretty comfortably here before it went out for a spell. Trials have been good enough, I think, without being extended. So it might be a progressive type here. Gate 10, slightly a concern, but if it can overcome that, can finish it can figure in the finish. And Taj Need, I think he can run well, resuming here as well. I think it's got some potential coming up from Melbourne. Failed in the Group 1 before it went out, but in the Group 2 ran a really nice race prior to that, and its trials have been impressive. So I thought they were the 2 that I would toss between.
I've got Kokoro on top, just being second up now with a nice win. I'm sticking with it, but I agree. I had Taj Need as the horse to watch here because, you've covered it off. They were 2. The build up to the Guineas was very good, and the trials have been great. Ridden out the line pretty well, so I'm going to play around those 2. St Bathans has come out. Interested to see where that goes, actually, because it comes off a decent enough trial in New Zealand. But, they're the two for me. Both can play them each way again. Group 2 for the girls is up next. 1,300 metres, Millie Fox Stakes, where, I've got the favourite on top. I'm not jumping off just yet. Maramia bolted in and beat a good one in Golden Mile. Hopefully should get a similar run, actually, and I wasn't that impressed by the trials of the main dangers in the market. I had next pick, actually, as Pavitra, who did trial well. Excited to see her come back to the races. Should roll along up on pace, kicking off at 1,300 metres, assuming she's not in the other one later, and can maybe run your place at $2 or $3 there. But Maramia Cleary on top for me, Beaver.
Yeah, clearly on top for me as well. A lot to like about last start win. Ran some great sectionals and was fully wound up. This horse may have found the key after its last 2 runs. Trialled well, won first up, killed him second up. Can't get off against this field.
The 7th kicks off the quaddie, a listed 1,900 metre race, the Parramatta Cup, where do I want to charge into these horses? Not particularly, but I'm with the market. I think King Frankel's trials have been great. On top of the ground, resuming, rolls forward in a race lacking a heap of chasers. I think it's going to be hard to beat. And I've got the main dangerous Irish Legend who's flying. Only just scraped home last time, but back to Rosehill and home suits and has trialled since and bolted in a trial. So they're the two main ones for me. I'll cover off the other quaddie chances when I get there, but how are you looking at this one?
Same. I thought King Frankel looked hard to beat here. Around the $4 mark, I think it's probably a nice little bet here because there's a few down in the market here that I don't rate any chance, and it looks like one of the most progressive types in this field. And resuming over 1,900, you got to suggest it's fit, and particularly after its last start trial, it was pretty impressive.
Cool. The feature is the Group 2 Hobartville for the 3-year-olds. Don't have to say much here, do we? Aft Cabin was a fantastic return, up and ready to go. Rolls forward here under Tim Clark and should win again. I had the only danger, and the only one I'll probably entertain away from it, is a Kiwi horse, Pierre, who should have won first up and has a bit of ability in just complete different form. But Aft Cabin has the rest of these Australian horses covered. Yeah,
100% Aft Cabin for me. Nothing else to add. But I think Zoo Tiger in it can run the Quinella again.
Yeah. The 9th is a benchmark 100 over 1,400 metres. What do you like?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the favourite Crosstalk. Look, its 2 trials were pretty good. You know what you're going to get with Crosstalk. Gate 2 is going to go forward. Going to look to control the pace over the 1,200. And again, this is a field that when I went looking for something to beat it, I just couldn't find anything. I really struggled to see horses that were going to beat it. You know, you got some up and comers like Well, but that's looking for 2,000. He could run Well Fresh, but look, Crosstalk will probably control this race, and if it gets away with crazy sectionals, it'll be too good.
Yep. Only danger, if there is one, is Lakino. I thought tried pretty well and just gets a camp on its back. But it'd have to fall over not to win. I think Crosstalk, they're the two key chances for me. The 10th and last is 1,100 metre benchmark 94. And going back looking for some value, I've got Easy Single on top. I think it's trialled well for this. Comes back here where it's had a win, and Fresh just chiming in, swooping there for the gun. Can give you a sight from Flying Crazy, who we will see how it comes. Not Flying Crazy. No, it didn't try any good at all. Kiss Sum's the horse I'm looking for. May be able to do something fresh and goes into a quaddie. Just a couple at a price there. Obviously scared of Midwest, has it set up, but now needs to probably win one of these. Beaver, what do you think?
Yeah, I went for Cote. I'm going to stick with Cote. I think it's got a bit of ability. Its first up run wasn't the worst in the world, you know, a length or so behind Remark, who just stamped its class there. This is a much weaker race than that. Still might be a benchmark 94, but there's no Remarks in this race. I think it can run well again. And similarly, if it gets the right run, in front and gets the right sections, it can be hard to beat and gets 5 kilos off the fave.
Cool. Let's have a look at the Rosehill Quaddie, where I'll go with 5 Banjo, 10 King Frankel, 11 Irish Legend, 12 Aravine, into 2 Pierre, 3 Aft Cabin, into 1 Cross Talk, 5 Lakeen, 8 Cuban Royale, and we'll come home with 5 Kiss Sum, 6 Midwest, 7 Easy Single, 8 Mount High, and 11 Cote. What do you got as your best in value?
My best bet is... I've lost it now. Race 6, number 2, Maramia.
Yep.
And my value bet comes up in race 5, number 3, Willinga Rufio.
Beauty. Best for me, 6-2 Maria Mia. Let's go all up 8-3 Aft Cabin. And we will go looking for value in the form of race 3, number 2, Hypothetical. Now we've got we're kicking off our little $100 punters club today.
Yep, we can do that.
Cool. Have you got something for us? You can open the batting.
Yep, I will have something for you.
Can I think about it as though? No.
No, it's all good. I'm going to go an all up. I'm going to go Maramia, all onto Aft Cabin, all onto Crosstalk, $100.
Cool.
So that gives us about $6, so $600 for you there.
Awesome. Give it strength. We'll keep track of our bank and see how we sit in each week. Before we get to Queensland, a couple from Adelaide. Race 4, number 5, Saskatoon can keep winning. Race 5, number 6, Bistro's over there. Should be winning in race 6, number 5, Chicago Storm. What's happening up in Queensland?
Yeah, got a couple of good ones up in Queensland for us. I think race 2, number 3, Namazoo. I think it'll be winning. You can unload that onto race 4, number 3, Head of State. It's going to be super hard to beat. And then race 6, number 4, Comrade Rosa. I think it will be winning again. I just think you can get on all those 3 and happy days.
You're giving the Bopper a chance up there.
Look, the Bopper's a chance, but not a horse I generally want to tumble into anymore. I think Boom Nova resuming is probably the hardest to beat there.
Yeah. Beauty. That's our look across, all of the country pretty much. But good punting tomorrow, guys. Enjoy Group 1 racing from Flemington. Stay safe in the heat in Sydney. And we'll talk to everyone soon. Be back Wednesday morning for the midweek preview. Catch then.